Have prided myself over my career of being a really nuanced, reasonable person. Again, as I said, I've briefed and advised both Republicans and Democrats. I admire some of the steps that the Trump administration even took to combat disinformation, including Senator Rob Portman and his bills against deepfakes and, funding the Global Engagement Center at the State Department. So to say that I'm just a partisan actor was wildly out of context.
Wildly out of context. But her TikTok videos paint, well, a totally different picture. We want to talk about this and some other very interesting stories happening this Friday. Welcoming our panel back in, attorney, Republican strategist, and Turning Point USA contributor Erin Elmore, the host of the David Harris Jr. Show, David Harris Jr. himself, and the founder of Long Island Majority, Shawn Farash. Great to have you all back with me.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me back.
I mean, she looked very serious, no jazz hands, no Mary Poppins there in her comments. But for her to try to twist this, I'm kind of skeptical. I think she's living in another reality. David, what do you think?
It's again, par for the course for these liberals that just think that what they can say on camera on a news set to America is going to be taken as fact, when now with the social media platforms like TikTok, we can pull up exactly what people are saying and exactly how they're acting. The woman is absolutely a liberal nut job. I can't believe she was given the job in the first place. She is the absolute definition of misinformation. No wonder the Disinformation Governance Board got disbanded. Their leader was the head of it. I mean, it's absolutely disturbing when the government is going to try to put a board in place to then try to clamp down on the words and the statements and the posts of American citizens when the head of that department itself is just, one lie after another. It's Jen Psaki, it's Joe Biden, all of them. This entire regime is full of nothing but a bunch of two-faced liars, in my opinion.
We have a Jen Psaki clip in just a minute that I think you guys will love. I mean, but really, there's so much video out there of her. Erin, who's she kidding to try and say that she was, kind of maligned and, there wasn't a right description of her? I'm not buying that.
I mean, how can she go through her Twitter feed and even think that? But the problem with the left is they think that they can perpetuate the same lies over and over again, and we will just believe them because that's what's happened in the past. You have the left-wing media like CNN and MSNBC that are basically an arm of the Democrat Party. So people like Nina are very protected. They have an army of safety around them that allows them to spew whatever misinformation and disinformation they want and get away with it. Now, I'm just glad that this ended and ended quickly within 3 weeks, because God knows what would have happened. She was perpetuating the idea that people like her should be able to go into our tweets and change them to, combat, air quotes, misinformation. And that's really scary. We think we already are operating under a very limited definition of free speech. And if we allow leftists like this to do things like that, they're going to have a major problem. We're going to have a major problem here in America because free speech will be completely gone. Our forefathers would be rolling over in their graves and the First Amendment wouldn't exist.
Yeah, you're right. It was very frightening. Some of the things, like you said, editing tweets, Erin, we can't have that. And, Shawn, she just obviously, I don't know why they thought that they could trot her out and we wouldn't see all these clips and see her singing and talking about, Hunter Biden's laptop. I mean, do they think Americans are that stupid?
I do think that they think Americans are that stupid. And I want to make a point that not a lot of people are talking about, right? The fact of the matter that they tried. They tried to do this. It wasn't the Trump administration that tried to do this. These people tried to do this. And you know how I know that they thought it was a bad idea? You had Jen Psaki coming around saying, oh, no, this existed under the previous administration. You see, everything they try to blame on Donald Trump is stuff that they're doing, that they're realizing, oh, my goodness, is a horrible idea. This was a horrible idea, but they tried. They tried to take free speech away. We all just witnessed it. Don't let it happen again, because what's going to stop them the next time? They're going to put somebody in there that's more, quote unquote, reasonable without a TikTok profile and wind up stamping out free speech that way. They tried. Right. Don't let them get away with the fact that they tried to take free speech away.
They didn't get away with it with her, but it's interesting. Obviously, now Jen Psaki is no longer at the podium, but she'll soon be peddling all her ideas from a show on MSNBC. We have a clip from her when she was being asked about her comments with the SCOTUS protest. This was from Chicago. Want to play this for you guys. And a student just was trying to question her on her comments. Let's get her reaction to his very honest, straightforward, factual question?
Let me first say, because I think facts matter and facts are important, I never encouraged anyone to protest. I encouraged them to engage peacefully and to do it without violence, without threats, and without intimidation. And that's something I said many, many times and I think is vitally important.
In case you need a reminder, this was Jen Psaki a bit earlier this month.
We do believe in peaceful protests. What we do support is people peacefully protesting, and they do that in a range of places. What we are here to call for is peaceful protest.
It's like, she wants to have it both ways, say something at the podium, but when someone calls her out on it, it's still that condescending tone. I would think she'd be a little bit warmer now. She's about to launch a new show. Erin, what do you think about her tone here with that student, still kind of doubling down on denying that she did say, in fact, what he said she said?
I mean, I would expect nothing less from Jen Psaki. Shockingly, she doesn't have a degree in communications, by the way, which is really sad to me as someone who does. And let's see how she does over at MSNBC, honestly. I think her ratings are going to be just like most others over there that have tried to make the transition, which are very, very poor. I bet you she has a very low score. I think they call it a Q score to evaluate how you gauge with the audience. And she is just so acerbic and so negative and so vitriolic and so nasty. I just can't see her being watched by anyone sitting at home that sort of wants to learn something and better themselves because she thinks she's so much better. And the way that she spoke to that student just shows you how she sees herself and how she sees the rest of the world and how she sees herself being challenged. And it generally doesn't go well.